Hello, hello. It's the Private Talk podcast with Alexis, Texas, and we are back with another episode. I'm super excited. I've been having a lot of fun doing this episode. Actually, I've been having a lot of fun doing this podcast, I should say. This episode I'm excited about. I feel like it's one of those things that you may not know people, but you feel like you know people. But I want to get to know people. So today at the Private Talk podcast, we have Anna Montana and Manuel. Give it up, give it up, give it up. All right, Private Talk listeners out there, I want you guys to get familiar with my guest. I want you guys to give your background, give your, history, give my listeners out there who you guys are. Please let us know.
Okay, so first of all, thank you so much for having me on the show. I've been a big fan for years. I think you're
I love
amazing.
that.
Seriously, dope. I love everything about you.
Thank you so much.
Of course. Okay, so basically, my name's Anna Montana, and I'm originally from Boston, Massachusetts. Actually, a town outside of Boston. There's not really a lot that goes on out there.
I know a lot about small towns, girl.
Yes, that's right. So you get it. But yeah, so I'm from a small town called New Bedford, Mass. And not a lot of things, people or anything come from out there. But I always seen so much more for myself. I'm like, okay, there's no way that this is where my life is going to, I can't stay stuck here, So then when I was 19 years old, I went to Miami for Memorial Weekend when that shit used to be lit. I don't know if you ever went to Miami for Memorial Weekend.
My birthday is Memorial Weekend.
Gemini.
I'm May 25th. So
I love Geminis. I'm a Libra. Libra and Geminis are like this.
Let's give us an applause for that. It's funny you say that. I don't have a lot of Libras I don't think I have any Libras in my life.
What? I have like 5 Gemini friends, really, and they're like, you're the only one that understands this, Libras, and if you look it up, Libras and Geminis
I'm all about that. I want to know more. Yeah. See, this is why, again, you're going to become my best friend by the end of the show.
Hello.
I know it. Private Talk.
Right.
Private Talk. We want to give you everything about Miss Anna Montana. Tell us more.
Okay. So I went to Memorial Weekend in Miami, and I was like, oh, shit, this is where I need to be. It was just...
In Miami, set the mood, set the tone. Miami, I'm sure I wasn't there, but there's big booties.
Yes.
Everyone's, it's very the thinnest, tiniest clothing, and nobody cares. They're not really
tequila.
I mean,
yes. A lot of fucking tequila.
There's just a lot of alcohol. Period.
Alcohol, the clubs.
Period. Yes.
So I was 19 at the time. I was getting in the clubs. I met all the promoters. I meet I'm a big Dipset fan. Dipset was there. I was like, oh,
and you're a hot girl. So let's just be honest.
Yes,
that can't always be, everyone's plan, but you're a really attractive woman. And so I think that, once you meet those people are like, oh, yes, as much as you want to be here, I want you to be here too.
Exactly. So I ended up working out, and I was like, okay, hold on. I need to figure out how I'm going to make this move here, because I cannot go back and just live a regular life there. So I decided to save up my little coins. I literally moved there with $1,500 to my name, just nothing. But I was like, I'm going to make this. Were you scared? I was, but
Were you just determined?
I was determined. I was I never really get too scared about anything. Anything I want, I feel like I'm going to get it. I don't think too much into it. When I think too much into things, I'm that's when it doesn't happen.
It's you talk yourself out of it.
Right. But when I'm like, this is what I'm doing, period. It's going to happen for me. And basically, I moved out there, and I just made it work. I had a little roommate at the time, and we're like, okay, so what are we gonna do? They're like, oh, we can try doing being a promoter. So we did that for a little while, and I'm like, okay, I'm not making that much money doing this. And I had to always find girls to come out with me and this and that. They ended up being a strip club that was an hour away, because at the time, being a stripper wasn't you didn't really want too many people to know. Now it's oh, I'm a stripper. It is what it is. Nobody cares.
It's way more accepted nowadays. A lot more adult, entertainment.
All of it.
Things and businesses are a lot more accepted.
A lot of things are more acceptable now.
Yeah. So
can you tell us what strip club?
Yes, I worked at Scarlett's.
Okay.
Yes, and it was lit. Yeah, and it was little EDM crowd, all the little white people there. I was like, oh yes, it's lit. Because I couldn't go to KOD. My body wasn't done yet, so I wasn't ready for KOD. Okay, they would have been booing me.
Levels. Right. Look, girl, I like that you know. I like that you know though, because most women, even again, it's not that you couldn't, but you and yourself, you have to feel comfortable to go into a setting like that, because it's also, as much as we like it, it's also a lot of, we get, ridiculed. We get, as much as there's a lot of positive, there's also negative as well.
Of
so it's like
course.
you have to really be mentally ready, and also like if you want to physically, obviously be ready.
Exactly. So
So
I
from
mean, I would have
Starlets-
loved to go to KOD because they was dropping a bag. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, it's just not gonna make sense.
But
for
it's
me.
like training wheels, you know.
Right.
Like let's see how much I can do here because I know I'm gonna be here.
Right.
So how'd that hustle get you to there,
So wait.
or did it ever?
Well,
What happened after Starlet?
Well, Scarlet. So I ended
Scarlet.
up Scarlet.
Let's redefine Scarlet.
Starlets. Yes, Starlets is in New York. But yeah, no. So Scarlet's. It was a good time. I was making a lot of money at the time. Boom, boom, boom. I was able to pay my bills. I was like, okay, I love this. And then, I started meeting photographers, and they're like, okay, let's do photo shoots. Boom, boom, boom. So I started getting into like the music videos.
At this time, did you have an Instagram page currently, or did you do this after you started getting attention from being in Miami?
So I had started my Instagram page when I was actually in Boston, but I didn't take it serious at all.
Because at that time, it wasn't really something that we use as business more so now.
Right. So this is like what, in 2015, 2014, 2015. So It wasn't as big as, of course, as it is now, you know? So I'm like, I wasn't taking it too serious, but once I moved to Miami, I was like, once I started doing the photo shoots and stuff, I'm starting to post the pictures, boom, boom, boom. I'm starting to get more,
You're seeing those
interaction.
likes. You're seeing all those people reacting to me like, damn, girl,
Right,
where
I'm
have
like,
you been?
Okay. So, this is when Instagram really started getting like really popping. So I would like to say I'm one of the OGs of Instagram, period.
Yeah, girl, get it.
Right? Been doing this shit, okay?
I ain't mad, girl. I ain't mad.
So, so then I started taking it more serious, and that's when the brands started reaching out. And so I was still dancing at the time, but like I started getting a little bit more popularity. So I'm like, oh shit, like I don't want people to like find out that I'm dancing, because again, it just wasn't, as acceptable as it was now. And I was dating a DJ at the time. Oh my God.
Popular DJ, what's his name?
I want the truth.
Well, no, we're not
She
gonna.
wants the truth.
This is private talk. Let my listeners know. I mean, it was way in the past, girl. We've moved on, all of us.
No, but it's only because the story I'm going to tell, I don't want to put him on blast, because this.
Okay, I respect
should though,
that.
because what he did to me.
Hey, let it know. Let it know.
I want the truth.
I'm just letting it be known. Honey. Give it to me.
Get that one more time for your sister. I want the truth.
Remix.
Listen, so how about I'm like trying to be sneaky? I'm in Scarlett's dancing. How about he walks in?
I like how you swerve that
Right.
question right there.
It's gonna play. It's gonna play.
But listen, he comes, right? And he doesn't know that I'm there, throws a fit, right? So he's like, I'm done. I did not know, you're just a trifle.
So y'all were together at
Well,
that
like,
time.
I was like 21. I wasn't taking nobody serious. I'm just having
But
fun.
he definitely was.
He was,
Someone like you, myself, would be like, "Oh no, I'm your bitch. You're mine. You're not going anywhere." And
Right,
if
he
you're
was
gonna
ready.
tell me, he was definitely taking you more serious probably at that time than you were, because you
He
were.
was. I mean, I'm going to be honest.
So what
he
did you
was.
do? So he got mad.
So he got
Were you
mad.
like calm down? Did you just ignore him? Like let us know.
I ignored it. I was like, okay, if we never talk again, we're never going to talk. Like, I don't
But did he
really
cause
care.
a real out scene in your job where he like made you almost get fired, or was it like you kept it cute and was like on the side like, hey, don't do this to me?
Well, he took me to the side. I went to the back. I ended up leaving early and going to try to talk to him about it. I had to leave work early because it was uncomfortable. I don't want to stay there. I know.
Girl, you should have stayed and made your money.
I know.
Because where is
Her
he?
bad.
Where is he now? And you already said you won't tell us who he is, but he did something bad to you. So,
But listen, you're right. I should have stayed that night, because listen what he ended up doing, right? So mind you, he's a big DJ there. Tell me why I go to the club on a Friday night, right? And he sees me in somebody's section. He's going to have the nerve to talk about turn the lights on. I got something to say. I was like,
Oh, girl, no, he didn't. No, the fuck he didn't.
I was
he
like,
called
oh,
you out.
Okay. He didn't say my name, but he's like, I just want to give
But
a
they
special,
know.
yeah.
But they know.
I want to give a special shout out to them bitches that be acting like they're good girls, but they're really in the strip club shaking. Just put me on full on blast. I knew he was talking to me. Whoever knew we were messing around knew he was talking about me. He literally had them turn the lights on. He's like, all right, fuck them bitches, turn the lights off, and dropped the song. I was like,
I ain't scared of you motherfuckers.
I would have been like, yo,
That's what you said with the lights on, because you were like, what, ready? I know you were. Look, I can feel your
I
energy.
was
What'd you say? Unbothered.
I was so I was like,
bitch,
look
if it
at
was
you.
now today,
Because
today?
now you're making mess. Now you looking
would have put
messy.
some,
Right.
took some money out and start making
Right.
rain in
If
there.
it was
Should've
today, it'd be a
been
whole nother situation.
But now you've had time to think about it, so it's a little different. Because I've been the same way. Like, I'm really good in those situations, because I don't know if it's because I'm a Gemini or who I am or whatever situation. But afterwards, I'm always like, man, I could have, should have, would
Right.
have. Yeah, but
Yeah.
then we're throwing way different shade after that. 'Cause
Exactly.
we just have in our feelings after that.
Absolutely.
Okay, so it was unbothered.
So I was unbothered, and then, but yeah, so that was like the whole dancing situation. So what I'm saying is I started getting, more popularity at the time. So I'm like, okay, like I'm going to try to take this Instagram thing serious. And like, I didn't want to dance anymore either because I was making money there, but it's like, you have your slow nights, you have your good, it was just
What year was
lot.
this? Let's
This was
private talk.
2014.
2014, okay.
Yeah, so it was like, you had your good nights, and like, again, like I was working at like a gentleman's club, so it's like a lot of like the girlfriend experience. I'm sitting there talking to, I would just be like, oh, this is so annoying, I don't feel like doing this. It's exhausting, like, ugh.
There's like different types of people. There's people that are built for that, and there's people that aren't. Yeah. I'm not trying to say I'm gonna be a dick to you, but you know, I have a different approach to that whole thing. I'm sure. Like I feel your vibe, so I feel like it's kind of the same thing. It's like, tell me what you want, what you need, but if it can't help you right now, then Yeah,
like I'm trying to get straight to the point. I'll talk for a little bit, but when they wanted to talk about everything, I'm just like, oh my God, this is so annoying, So I was like getting annoyed with it. So I'm like, okay, let's take this Instagram thing more serious. And then, like brand started reaching out to me. And
did someone say that to you, or did you just do it yourself, just knowing like, hey, this is the future of what's going on next? Or like, why did you start taking the Instagram thing serious? Did you just see because of the likes more or the more attention? How did that come about?
I had a manager at the time. She's just, she was like, I want to be your manager, da-da-da. So I'm like, okay, let's see how this is going to work. And she was actually, now that I look back at it, she really did have my best interest. Like, I just, at the time, again, I was like 21, 22. I'm like running rampant. Like, I wasn't trying to listen to nothing she had to say.
Because you know everything.
Right, exactly.
We all do, but we don't.
Right. But I now know what she was trying to do. But she's the one who was like, okay, listen, we're going to do these hostings. Like, I'm going to reach out to clubs. Like, this is when hosting started getting really popular. Boom, boom, boom. And she started reaching out to brands. And so I started making my money like that. And then, I just started, like, kept on growing my Instagram following. Then I ended up dating this soccer player who played overseas. And he had, like, a really big following. So that really helped me, like.
Did he come into the club one night? How did you meet this soccer player?
So it's kind of funny. Like I ended up my mother is Portuguese, so I was. We had done like a family trip to Portugal, and my grandfather's favorite team. They were called Benfica. It's a soccer team, and we went to go visit the stadium. And it's so weird how the universe works. I literally I was like, oh, he's cute. They had like a picture of the players. I'm like, oh, he's cute. I stood in front of the picture. I took a picture of it and like I tweeted it or whatever, and it ended up getting back to him. Slides in the DMs because it's all that, how that works. Anyway,
we'll find out private talk how that works.
You know how that goes. So he slides in the DMs. I'm like, oh, he's cute. We ended up just like hitting it off, and then boom, like I'm flying to Portugal to visit him, and boom, boom, and we dated for like 6 months, and then it was like a public thing. So that really, believe it or not, that helped the following as well. You know what I mean? Because he was so popular.
Were you for that, or did that help or kind of make your relationship more difficult because you were more in the limelight?
So it ended up making it more difficult just because, I was doing the music videos, I was doing the sexy photo shoots. And
the music videos come because of after those, like the following increase after the time with your boyfriend?
No, I was already doing that before it. So I kind of slowed it down once I got with him, but people were like reaching out to him like, oh, she's a whore. Look at the picture she's taking.
Of course, because people are going to hate.
Exactly.
I know exactly how that works. We're always going to be hated on people, on things that they're envious of. And usually the jealous people are going to be, they'll never say it that way, but it's always because you have an insecurity, not I.
Exactly.
We're comfortable in how you are, and that's, what it should be. What works for us doesn't mean that work for you.
I'm like, this is how you met me. Like, okay, I slowed it down. You're lucky I did. And if anything, like, you met me this way, but I guess it started getting into his head.
Was it because you were doing things that he felt was whatever in the music videos that was like crossing the line and in his ego, or it was just because of you working in like period?
No, like I stopped doing it. Like he ended up leaving Portugal, moving to Russia, and asked me to move to Russia with him. I literally left everything in Miami and moved to Russia with this guy because I'm like a little hopeless romantic. I'm like, okay, you're my soulmate. Let's do this. So stupid. But anyway, I ended up doing that with him, and I cut off everything. But like I said, people were reaching out to him like, this isn't a good look for your brand. You're a big soccer player. Like she was a girl from Miami. You don't want to be like attached to her. So it started getting to him. And whatever, literally, when I tell you this guy didn't even give me closure, just was kind of like, listen, like, I don't think we should do this anymore, sends me packing back to America. I'm like, what? Poor thing.
That sucks because it's one of those things, it's like, girls, you get a hype, and not because it's a hype, but, we have this fairy tale dream that's sold to you at one point in time, and we all want to believe that, and we don't want to be like, a non-love person or whatever after even when you've been burned before. And I'm divorced and I've been through that whole thing as well, and it's not easy. But when you like take everything and you move, it sucks because it's dependent on what they're telling you, and it's like you're on it's like you're on strings, and that's
exactly.
So because of all of that, and you dating someone so like high profile, has that made a difference in your dating life now? Like, what is your current status? Does that make you, like, what is going on with you right now?
So I never really, like, even though, like, I've had my heart broken a few times. I've broken a few hearts, too. It's just life, And I never really, like, let whatever happened in past relationships never stop me from falling in love again. I'm like, I didn't make it. It definitely turned me into, like, somewhat of a beast. Don't get it twisted, but not as, like, I'm not like, oh, I'll never be in love, da-da-da. So right now, I'm in a relationship. I've been with my man now for almost 3 years, which is kind of crazy because it went by so fast, but he's so sweet. He's such a good guy. He's an artist. He just signed to Taylor Gang.
There you go, girl. There you go. Hey. So let Private Talk know what his name is. Let's find out who your man is after 3 years. That's a big deal after being with somebody so high profile and you saying fuck it. I'm all about love, as you should be, and just live in your own truth. Yeah. And you just jumped right in. So what is his name? Let us know about it.
His name is Skate. And we met kind of randomly. Like, I wasn't expecting it. I feel like it always happens when you least expect it. And my manager at the time was like, listen, like, I'm kind of sick of you dealing with these people. Let me, like, I could see you dating this kid. I'm like, what? And he's like, he was younger than me. He was only 21 at the time.
So you never knew who he was. Your manager was like, hey, I just know your type.
Yeah, he's like, I feel like I want you to try something different. I was like, I don't know, because he's a little white boy. He's younger. He was only 21 at the time. I'm like, I don't know. Let's see what he's talking about.
Did you take it serious, or were you scared, or you're like, ugh, like, what are you going to get me into?
I wanted to see where it was going to go. I wasn't really going to take it serious at first. He wasn't either. We were just seeing where it was going. And then we just hit it off, like, since day one, like, and he's just one of my best friends, and it just, it's a
so
good
how do you deal with, again, another artist, or not an artist. Well, the last one was, an athlete, but now being an artist. How do you deal with him and his schedule, like him being with groupies? Do you deal, even though you're an attractive girl, it doesn't matter, whatever, people always want your man, they want whatever, just because if they want 15 minutes or they're lying on you, like, tell us, Private Talk, a little bit about that. Like, how do you deal with that kind of, stuff?
So the reason why I feel like it works out so well with him and I is because with the athlete, like, he had like a perfect image he had to have. With an artist, I feel like he gets it. He gets me. He loves when I take pictures of my ass off. He's like, that's my bitch. Hello.
He kind of lives in his own truth.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So he gets it. And it, like, makes him look good, So.
But I'm also, I feel like a little bit now too is like, there's sponsorships or like, people who are labels or things like that also want to make a certain image. Does that ever come into a play where they're like, hey, that's a little bit too much? Or do you still get to like be faithfully who Anna Montana is?
Yeah, I get to. They love it. Like, I've met all the people that he works with. I've met the people at the label. Like, so they love what we're doing here. Like, they like
awesome.
it. And they want him to have like that rock star energy. You get what I'm saying? So they like, it's cool. It's not like he's.
That's amazing.
Like a little Justin Bieber. We're like, you have to have this little cute, like, sweet girl. They're like, okay, we like this. Like, she's black, you're white. Like, we love what you guys are doing here. The interracial couple, like, they like it. You know what I'm saying?
You never know, because some people, they could just run with it either way you want.
Yes, exactly.
But it's like,
that's what I was
sometimes
scared
like with you is because you said before is like you're an OG Instagram model. It's like it's so hard not to live in what your truth really is because how do you define yourself after that? And just after so many years being just you.
Yeah.
So.
I know that's something, that's why I love and appreciate the relationship so much, is because I never had to change and I was able to stay true to myself. And he loves it. He loves it, So, it's, we're doing really good. He was supposed to come here today, but he was busy. I want us to come back so we could do like a little couple segment.
You want to do a couple segment?
Yes, I would love that. And I told him, he was like, I definitely want to go. I'm like, I bet you do, don't you? Huh?
Does that mean he's a fan too?
He's a fan, girl.
Have you watched together?
We have.
I like it. I like it.
Why wouldn't we?
I like the honesty. Yeah. That's right, Private Talk. I hope you guys are loving this interview because I respect the honesty. I hope you guys are subscribing, liking all of this shit because I know I am. Private Talk with Alexis, Texas. I hope you love it. We are going to ask some more questions. So, was there ever a groupie situation? Wait, let me read back. Hey. Was there ever a groupie situation with your man currently?
Well, he's been on tour. He's done 2 tours this summer with Wiz, and of course, I'm sure they've been, having, but honestly, like,
Do you go with him on tour? Do you like?
Yeah, I don't do the whole thing because I have my own schedule too. So I'm not going to be the girlfriend that's like following you around.
Because you want to do your own thing.
Yeah,
and you've been your own thing.
Exactly, and I still want him to. I don't want to be like locking him down. Like if he needs to do like. Get it out. I feel like he's already gotten it out of his system because he's been doing music like even before me. He was going on tour before me.
But you say he's younger, so do you ever feel like that's kind of in the back of your mind, or do you think he'd be enough like honest with you at this point because you've been together for 3 years that he could be like, hey, let's bring somebody in the bedroom with us, or like let's do like whatever. Like how do you? I
feel like the type of guy he is. He's such a laid back guy, and he's from the Midwest. Like he's just a totally different type of guy that I ever dated. And if he would definitely come to me like that, like let's spice it up before I feel like he would ever go and disrespect me in that way. And if he was, it wouldn't be like a fucking situation. I think it'd be like a head situation. So I guess that doesn't really count. Low-key. Not that. But
do you feel that doesn't count?
As long as I never found out and like nobody's hitting me up like, oh, I got the situation going, Jimmy, like, you know what I'm saying? But I don't think it's okay.
For me, I think I'd be more okay with being physical than more head game. Because head game to me is
I mean head.
I thought,
no,
okay,
girl.
Okay, I was like, I thought she meant head like mental game. I'm like, if you're having a more like mental situation, that's way more of a problem than fucking
No, I mean like some head. Like I don't want you, but if he was to get like a head situation just because like whatever a night happened, like I better never find out, and I don't. That's not as bad as you actually.
Just don't disrespect me for I know like what it is.
You get what I'm saying? Again, I'm not saying it's okay, skate, okay? But I'm just saying, I'm just a real bitch, okay?
Hey, I like it. I love it. I want more of it. All right. I want to touch a little bit more back on the whole aspect of like you saying the whole OG IG model type thing. First, again, let's shout out your IG page.
Anna_Montana.
All right, girl. So with that being said, like, is there a stigma with the whole like Instagram model, the whole like where it's become? Like, how do you deal with that? Do you have to deal with that? Do people come for you because you've like been from the beginning? Like, how do you deal with all of that stigma?
Well, yeah, I mean, ever since the beginning of time, I've always wanted to do modeling. So basically, like, I'm just so thankful for social media, Instagram, especially shout out to Instagram for the rest of my life. It definitely changed my life for the better. I don't care what nobody says. But maybe I wasn't able to do like the whole runway aspect of it or like high-end fashion, but shit, I'm still a model at the end of the day.
But that maybe just not your thing in your label, you know what I mean? Like everybody has, you know, we're all different entrepreneurs in our own way, you know, and certain things thrive on certain other, like, you know, aspects, and myself included. Like everyone thinks like I'm like should be pigeonholed because I've been Alexis Texas for this so long. It's like, but there's so much more to me that the world hasn't seen and heard, and this is why Private Talk has, you know, become what it's becoming, is because
I love it.
This is like a whole other, you know, niche. It's like, so that's why with me it's like it's, you know, whatever you feel, and sometimes you may not even known that 2 years ago, but where you are in your brand right now speaks more volumes of like, hey, maybe it's launching you to whatever you're, you know, have going on, whatever. It's just like, you never know, you know, things happen organically. I'm really big on when you speak into existence too. And I think also too, like where you are in your life of where, you know, you accepting those good blessings that we all have.
Absolutely. So like sometimes when people be like, oh, she's just an IG model, or oh, these IG models, I don't know who they think they are, but I'm like, are you joking? Like we really have contracts and big deals with these brands, and they're reaching out to us, and like this is my livelihood right now. You get me? So it moved me to LA. Like it's taking care of my bill. So like whatever you want to call it. I used to have in my IG bio, your favorite IG model, just to like piss them off. You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
rile them up a little bit.
Right. I'm an IG model. Okay, whatever you want to call it. I'm still a model. You know, I got to like live the dream that I wanted to, you know? And yeah, I don't really, definitely now I don't let it bother me. So.
Is that because you're such a social media like influencer and because like you said, like it's changed your life for the good, obviously. And some people, like, I think that even like, you know, in my business, your business, in any business, the naysayers, a lot of it comes from the, you know, the jealousy, the negativity, and like insecurities in themselves to like lash out because they really just either want attention from us or just want to be like, hey, because I've sometimes in my own like vulnerable times, I'm like mad, I'm like look at it and I'm like, oh, feed into it, and they're like, oh, but I'm really a fan and I didn't mean that, but I'm like, but why would you say this to me? Because and then like
they just want to get your attention.
You realize that like regardless of what you do as an artist, regardless in what field, is like you're never going to be able to please everybody. So if you can't stay true to your own brand, whatever that is, and stay, then you're never going to be true to yourself. So whoever likes it or dislikes it, obviously we want to please as many people as we can.
Yeah.
You know, even like with this, podcast, I don't know if people want to hear what I want to say, but I know people want to hear what I want to say. You know what I mean?
Course.
Because I've done so much, and I know I have a lot to say, and I stand for a lot more than just being in the industry, the adult industry. You know, I stand for a lot more than that. So this is, you know, my time to shine, and why I want to have people like yourself, and you included, you know, I want to get to you too. Please don't think I'm ignoring you, Manny. I know. I feel like you're already my friend, Manny.
This is one of the best people I've met in LA. You're gonna be obsessed with him after this.
I like it, but you know, I like your whole style. I mean, I know you're a stylist and you've done all that stuff, but I don't want you to feel like you feel like stifled over there. If you have something to say and chime in, you know, talk into your microphone.
I'm actually getting to know Anna a lot more right now. So
Really?
I like
because
that.
I don't even know half of these stories.
Oh, so you're sitting here like, ooh,
it's your juicy.
I love that. See, that's what I like about private talk is that, you know, there's things about, you know, people that people expect you to already have said or whatever. And, you know, I don't know a lot about you, but I've definitely heard your name and I've heard your brand and I've heard very great things about you. All my male fans and friends follow you. So, and I followed you too. So I hope I get a follow back.
Of course, you already know.
But
I put you on my story today. You know, so many people hit me up like, oh my God, please tell her that I'm the biggest fan. I'm like, oh my God, here we go.
All right, private talk. I hope you're loving Anna Montana just as much as I am. Make sure you subscribe and like. And yes, let's keep talking. I want to hear more. I want to get more into who you really are. This is, again, I want you to feel comfortable. I want to feel like I'm already feeling like I've known you forever. So let's keep going.
Okay, so where did we leave off?
So the whole stigma about the IG
IG
model, whatever.
Okay.
So it's like, it's changed your life. It's done whatever, you know, it's made you basically comfortable enough to where you can do whatever you want with whatever brands that you have. So you are a social media ambassador. What are your...
So now I love that they ended, like when the word influencer came around, I was like, ooh, I like this. Like, this makes more sense. Because, again, the IG model thing just makes you feel like you're less than. Because they're like, oh, you're not signed to an agency. Like, how can we take you serious? Like,
well, it's very a stigma thing where it's like male and female dominated industries where it's like, okay, well, why does that really make you a model?
Right.
You know, so it's like you want to be your own lane, but you don't know what that is. And at this time, too, because of social media, it was like either YouTube's sensations or YouTube influencers or Instagram, you know, models people didn't know how to run with that or really know what that meant.
Or like if someone would be like, oh, so what do you do? I'd get like a little uncomfortable.
But did
and awkward.
you really know what that meant at the time though too?
I didn't.
Or just because you were that business savvy and was like, hey, I'm having this many like response things other than the manager telling you at that time, you know, and you say that, you know, you pay homage to her now because you kind of realize how she had your best interest at the time. But did you really realize how influential Instagram would make your life now?
I did, like when I was younger, I really didn't, like I said, I didn't take it too serious. Even when she was telling me, but even when I was getting paid from like companies, I was like, okay, this is cool. But like, I was too busy, like trying to figure out like different way. Like I still was like with the boyfriend thing. I'm like, okay, this is probably going to be like,
'cause it's never a sure thing either.
Yeah. You know? So I didn't really take it too serious until like, honestly, like 3 years ago, like right before, that's why I have to thank Skate a lot for that, because I started taking it more serious because he was really popping on Instagram too. And he kind of like, even though he was younger than me, like he had like a different fan
following.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, and like he kind of broke it down to me. I'm like, oh my God. So I've kind of been, he kind of broke down like how much he was getting into. I was like, oh, so I'm kind of playing myself. I didn't even realize
because you don't know at that point that no one's ever really, really told you, even if a manager or not, because I've been in those situations too, where it's like, you think people have their best interest, but they don't.
Yeah.
Because they're also, because they have people where and then you realize that whole stigma of now, hey, that's how much I got paid. And this is what I got really paid.
Yes.
And the difference is because
that.
when you have someone in those types of industries, they tell you, because it's now that's your man, obviously. So you have intimate conversations and you're just being honest. And in your head, you're like, man, I'm a hustler, but man, I got played. So it's like, you know,
a few times.
So now you got to think different. Cause again, you're OG. So now it's like all the, you know, even if you hear like what people got paid, most times when you hear in the media, they always want to say like, it's not as true as it is, you know, but I feel like sometimes now it's kind of a lot more truer than it is as far as like what you get paid as an influencer from people like Fashion Nova and all those big things. Is because you do have a social media following, and with yourself is you have a lot more women followers than myself. Is I have a lot more men followers, which you do as well. But it's like that where you could like promote to and really like target those women to do those things.
Exactly. Yeah, because I mean now the companies are asking for like they need the statistics, they need the numbers, they want to make it all make sense. And especially like we were just talking to Manny about like I guess they're taking away the likes, which I'm like, why are you doing that? But I guess like since it shows it on our side still, we'll be able to show the companies, so that's good. At least we'll still be able to work.
So that's a big thing for your business.
Yeah,
so you really feel
when I heard that, I was
of that?
Low key a little bit, and Nicki Minaj did like a whole little live stream, and I was like, oh shit, she's breaking it down. I'm like, why is Instagram doing this to us? I feel like Instagram should do this thing where they do like a monthly subscription or something, so we can like. Because I know they want to make money off of it. So now what they're trying to do, I think, is just have these companies promote rather than pay influencers. Do you get what I'm saying? Like they want.
Well, I think that there's so many. I agree with exactly what you're saying, and everything is money driven nowadays, regardless if it's a free app or not, because somehow or another it's something being done. But do you think it's a little bit more because there's so many apps now that are subscription based, and they're like, hey, now I don't want to be the last person either, and so many people are doing my platform, but it's for free. What am I getting at it? Now you've made money because of ad things, because of your likes and followers, but what did Instagram get from it?
Yes.
So I feel like that's why, for business wise, like I don't agree with it either, but I think that from the business aspect, that's what's really happening. And then for myself, it's like, now with even me not being in the industry for over 3 years, I have platforms like OnlyFans and this, whatever, that is subscription based. Like, a lot of girls that are just Instagram models themselves have them. And I don't know, cause I don't subscribe to their page, but I don't know exactly what they do on those things. But that's why I feel like maybe, hey, they're thinking like, hey, am I missing out? Am I doing whatever? Like,
of course.
So,
which I understand where they're coming from with it, but like I said, I wish they could do a thing where they're like, okay, well, the people that want to stay on here and still like maybe show their likes or whatever, maybe I wouldn't mind subscribing $500 for the year for, or whatever the case may be. I would do it because it was good for my business, But I mean, we'll see where it goes. But I decided to start my own app because I was like, okay, God forbid, like whatever happens over there. Let me make sure that I bring these people over to mine. And now I have my own subscription.
You're targeting exactly your fan base and nobody else.
Yes, exactly. So so I decided to do that, the Anna Montana official app, and I have like live like streaming on there, and I have like exclusive pictures I don't post on the regular Instagram. And
is that subscription based or how is that?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So let Private Talk know a little bit more about that. Like, how do you said, what is your...
Yeah, it's Anna Montana official app. And, it's available on the Apple Store and all that. And basically, it's all pictures that I do not post at all, like on my regular Instagram page. All of it's on there. And we do like giveaways. I flew out like 2 fans already, met with them. One of them was actually a girl, which I thought it was going to be all guys on there, but it was actually this girl. I flew her out here. I gave her a photo shoot. Like I gave her like a whole life, like a day in the life of. So it was really cute, So so I ended up doing that, and because the people, when they tried to sell it to me, I'm like, I don't know if I really want to do like a whole nother app. And they're like, listen, you want to make sure you get your fan base there, because God forbid something happens, like, you know what I mean, with another social media platform, like you want to have your own show. I'm like, you're right. Mm-hmm.
I definitely believe in that, but I'm also a firm believer of not limiting yourself either. And you should definitely take advantage of all platforms, because it's like, you never know with any of them nowadays, you know what I mean? And, as much as our businesses are very different, they're very much the same as well. We have, kind of the same followers a little bit, but again, like I said, I feel like you probably have a little bit more female followers than I do, but I don't know, like, have you ever had like riffs with other IG models ever through the time? Have they been like snarky with you? Because myself, going in the business with me, like you have people that hate on you that you don't even know why, because you've never even met them, and you're like, I'm nice to everybody until you're a problem, right? And then it's like whatever, you know what I mean? So I know myself, I've had that. So have you ever had that problem in the IG world?
I mean, I'm very, like Manny likes to say, I'm very catty. So I don't.
But catty to the point where you're just telling the truth, or catty to the point where you're like, because catty to me means you're like gossiping and whatever, being catty.
Oh,
catty to me, like, catty to me doesn't mean telling the truth, because I'm very blunt. My parents are both from New York. I was born in Panama, raised in Texas, but I feel like my heart and my core is East Coast. So I feel like when I go back to New York, and I'm like, when I go in the streets, I'm like, home, right? I feel like it's very nostalgic, and sometimes I don't know why, but I feel like I just recently was back there for like a week, and I was like, I feel like I breathe this air differently, and I don't know if people understand that, but it's just like, this is kind of where it's like, and I only spent summers there, like 1 month, in the summertime, but it was just like, I feel like where the root of like maybe my hardness, my realness, and all of that came from was definitely the roots of the East Coast, New York, like, just be honest. Just be honest. You know what I mean? Like,
so no, when we say catty, explain what catty is. It's not like talking shit.
When we say catty, it's not even like a talking shit matter. It's more just like popping your shit. Like, you're being catty, you're being extra, you're just being like, just being more, a
being
little bit more
cute.
confident.
Yeah, so
you're being a diva.
Yeah,
I would say diva, but I don't even say that in a bad word because some people think that's a bad word too. Like
it's like a gay slang though. It's like
Yes.
catty. You just being catty. Just be an extra.
you being a queen. All right,
Yes,
all right, queen. You be your queen self. Okay, let's go now.
But like, I've never had drama with like any IG girls because like I'm a girl's girl. Like I get along with them for the most part. So you really have to hate on me to like not like.
But
me
you've
'cause
had to
I'm
have
so-
somebody like myself. It was like they probably hated you from afar, and then until they talk to you, they're like, "Oh, Matt, you're a mad ass. Like you're cool.
You're
as
cool
fuck.
as fuck. I wasn't expecting that, And I'm like, I know, I get it, but this is what
You're
it is.
welcome.
Right.
Love you too. Yeah.
But like, no, I've been on like literally like maybe like a month ago. I went on this on Fashion Nova page, and there was this girl on there. And I loved her hair, right? So I'm like, oh my god, this girl's mad pretty. I go to her page, I'm blocked. I'm like, wait, what?
Mad petty.
I was like, why?
Can we say who it is?
I don't even know her name. I literally.
That's
don't-
even worse.
I just thought she was bad. I'm like, oh, her hair's
Does she have a lot
bomb.
of followers?
Yeah.
Like 200,000. Like she was a cute girl. Like I literally don't know what it could have been. I'm like, it couldn't been a dude. I've been with my man for 3 years. So where did this come from? I don't know. But I was literally blocked. So
But
I
it's
was
one of
like,
those things though,
okay.
because I've come in those things as well, where I've had certain people that I've been introduced to or whatever, where I felt like, and people who introduced me was like, oh, you'll be mad cool. You'll be like, you're going to click with them, whatever. And then they're not mean to me, but they're not really receptive to me as either, because I feel like if something, whatever. And the same thing that at one time I was like, I saw the same thing and I was like, okay, I've never done anything to this person. But in my mind, how it works because of the industry that I've been in, it's like, oh, it's because your man told me this or you saw this. Because I've also had guys be like, my girlfriend broke up with me because of the fact that you were on my history, and they were like, oh, you cheated. Like, I don't think that's cheating, but
Hell
okay,
no.
I'm sorry.
Right, my bad. Sorry.
I dated one of those people. Well, I can't even say dated. I tried out one of those people one time. It didn't
like
work
the
out.
DJ situation.
Yeah, you try that out.
Right.
You like try it out, and if it works, it works. But it didn't work, so I kept it pushing. You know what I mean?
I ain't scared of you motherfuckers.
None of those motherfuckers.
Right.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Funny.
So, is there any advice that you could give to these young IG models out there that are, like I said, your OG? Is there any advice that you can give to them, especially because this whole wave of like the non-legs going on? Like, can you give advice?
I mean, it's about to be a whole nother situation now. I'm gonna have to figure out my damn self. But I would say basically like your net, like that's one thing I've always learned is your network is your net worth. So period. Like, like working with other people, like I've never, like I said, I'm a girl's girl because I feel like when you come together, it's just is so much more of a force.
More unity.
Yeah, like I can do things myself. Of course, I've been always in my routine, but I love to ask Mandy. I'm always like, let's do a photo shoot with this girl. Like I would love to do that because it's like, why not? I'm all about girl power. That's been my dream always, is just to find like a strong group of females that are boss ass bitches.
Because we do
talking like
we do
boss
more in
talk.
numbers. You know what I mean? We do
Of
more in numbers, and
course.
it's like I feel like the same way. Different industries, but very similar, whatever. The same thing with me is like, I've never felt like I'm competing against anybody because I feel like we all have a place out there regardless of what it is. There's enough money out there. There's enough followers. There's enough, a lot of everybody, whatever. If you're going to like me, you're going to like me. If you're not, whatever. So I feel like with that being said, is like we have so much, negativity as women already. It's like, why not just let us win? You know what I mean? So why not us be cheerleaders and like, let us be like a lift. So for me, I'm a big feminist. It sounds crazy, especially in my business, whatever. But for me is, why I loved my business was because no one ever told me what I could and could not do. It was me and my choices.
Boss,
Everyone was like, oh, you're a man. No, it was never. It was me. I chose to do what I want. It was how I expressed myself. And for me, it was like my form of art, I don't sing, I don't do any of that. But for my art was how I express myself sexually. So I could express to people that maybe were very more vulnerable or maybe not know how to do that and look like myself, make them feel comfortable in a zone where this is all safe, you know what I mean? Like, and again, we all get tested. We felt, no one told me or forced me to do anything I didn't want to, you know what I mean? That's why for me, I could never, say anything bad about my business because it made me who I am today. And that's why, letting my voice come out now is to like why really great and having someone like yourself is like, again, it's very similar but different, but we go through the same stigmas of like people telling us, oh, you're not intelligent because you just post pictures of your ass, or oh, because you worked in a strip club, or oh, like, how do you deal with those stigmas?
I mean, I honestly like have built such a tough skin like through all this. Like I've heard it all, so like nothing can bother me at all at this point. All I have to do is just prove myself, mostly for myself,
Facts.
and just honestly just prove everybody wrong. Anything they had to say, that's what my job is to do, is just to prove them wrong and just keep it moving and get to these big M's, B's.
Yes.
If I can, hello, all right.
Of course, I love that.
All that, and yeah, like there's nothing nobody can ever literally say. I've heard it all.
That's how I feel. Because for me, the biggest word that everyone's like, "Oh, you're just a whore." Okay,
right.
Like words are just words. You give them the meaning behind them and like the action behind what they give to you. So for me, it's like you can't. And not every time. Sometimes I have feelings too. We're all human. I'm sure sometimes, like again, like when we were saying before, commenting to those people, those naysayers are like, hey, but and we get in our feelings. Right. But you learn from that too. Is like I can't not be affected by that, but I can still speak my truth, and I'll say whatever. But at the end of the day, I'm still gonna do what I want to do. I'm still gonna make the decisions I'm gonna do for myself. I don't have, as long as I can sleep as well at the end of the day of every night.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm Gucci.
Me too. I'm on the same page, girl.
I love that. I love that. All right, let's get to Manny. Hi, Manny. You've been sitting so patiently and quietly over there.
I actually enjoyed myself just now.
So you introduced my Private Talk listeners out there. Guys, thanks for tuning in and watching Private Talk. I hope you guys are loving it as much as I am. I love meeting new people and getting to know their truths and making you guys feel comfortable to talk to Miss Texas, because I want you guys to feel comfortable. Like I said, we weren't friends before, but we're going to be best friends after. So let us know, Manny. Tell Private Talk what you're all about, love.
So my name is Manuel Antonio. I'm 27 years old.
Gotta give you that shout out. All right, Manny. Let them know. Private Talk wants to know.
Really
So
is.
yeah, I'm 27 years old and I'm from Philadelphia.
East Coast.
Okay.
So I grew up in the dance world almost. I can say like I was a cheerleader growing up.
Okay.
Then I went from doing cheerleading to owning a dance team, and then I got a dance studio.
All in Philly.
Yeah, all in Philly.
Okay.
I was very known in Philly for having a dance team, a group that expanded really big.
You could bust it.
Yes.
I'm Hispanic.
I want to go dancing with you now.
You should see him in the club. Oh my God.
I better be invited to the next club invite. Yeah.
You better be ready.
I'm always ready. Go big or go home.
Hello.
You're talking to Miss Texas here. Hey,
Okay.
let's get it. Private Talk, let's go.
So yeah, I was always into like dance and entertainment and stuff like that, and I was known back then for that in Philly. And when I reached like about 17, 18, I had a very big group. It's kind of like Bring It On and stuff. Like,
So you had all of that before the age of 17?
Yeah, I actually started it when I was 12.
Okay, hustler. Okay, I'm going to give you another one of those. That's a big accomplishment. You know what I mean? Like, you say it so casually, and I love that your modesty, but, for people who, I'm an entrepreneur, and like I said, we're all at different walks of life, but it's all still stems from somewhere in the same hustle of the drive of what you want to do and perceive and, achieve. So for the fact that of doing all of that at a young age, like I didn't know anything I was going to do until after 18, and really still not really knowing, but knowing and having that drive in you is really, it's an amazing thing.
Yeah, I grew up and I never had everybody, like my friends were like working at like sneaker stores and like restaurants and bars, and I never had like a regular job. I always did the little hustle thing. I always had the dance team, and I would make my money. Like I started getting into designing costumes for my dancers. My group became it started with 5 girls. I remember it was like very small. I took a picture of my backyard one day, and it just became like 12 and then 13. And
movement.
Then I had like posted on, it was MySpace days when I was posting like on MySpace clips. And
now, when you say dancing, were you like teaching them the dances, or were you doing their outfits? Like, what were you doing?
I'm Hispanic, I'm Puerto Rican, so I did bachata and salsa.
I'm Puerto Rican. Hi, papi.
So yeah, I'm Puerto Rican, and so I grew up doing bachata and salsa and stuff a lot. So that back then in Philly, like there was a whole bunch of different groups, dance groups, that like a lot of people was like dying to be in or pay like hundreds of dollars to be in. Like it was like a monthly little thing, but there was a groups, and if you was like in this group, they would advance you to the next group, and you always wanted to be in that higher group. So like back then, I was able to like be in those groups and like take all those groups for myself and then do my own thing. So I was like very young doing it, and I had like, I remember one day I was like, fuck, like I was playing in galas and annual showcases and shit, and I was just like, you can YouTube all the stuff and see it, but it's just
Where
like,
can we YouTube this, Manny?
just type it. Oh my god.
Tell us.
My group's was called Instant Addiction Dancers. So if you type that in, you'll see literally me as a little fat 12-year-old.
All right, private
17,
talk.
16. You'll see all of those videos.
You better go support Manny.
So
But I have literally I'm not even kidding. I don't tell nobody this. Like a lot of
better
my
tell
friends don't even
private
know I
talk.
dance.
I've seen the videos that you
Yeah,
posted.
no,
I'm like, oh
no,
my
no.
God.
No, some of them you really want to go and laugh, get drunk, and go on YouTube and go with all your friends, and you'll see shit that you would never even expect. I don't even
Private
tell
talk.
people,
You
so
heard
it's
it
just
first here. He said he didn't hear it. He didn't tell nobody. He telling us. That means you feel comfortable, feeling good. Let's hear more. Let's tell us more.
I never like to bring up my old past, but I was kind of bullied in school, so I didn't finish high school. I stopped school at 11th grade. But it was more because I was just I wasn't a bitch or nothing. I was just tired of fighting and my mom coming up there and just it was just little situations being beat because I was calling me gay for my tokens and shit like that. Just little small stuff that I love now.
Yes,
I don't like.
But at that time,
sad.
you know, it wasn't as accepted, talked about. People didn't know, and people, and
Back
kids
then
are
it was
mean.
really hard.
I mean,
Now
let's
it's
be
just
honest, kids are mean.
No, literally now it's I can look back and I can just be before I was emotional because I'm a Pisces, by the way.
Oh, I love Pisces.
So
Pisces.
I was very emotional back then because I felt I always had a point to prove, and I knew what my truth was, but I just wasn't sure if everybody else did. So I always lived like that. I always lived knowing that, but it was just accept me because I'm really cool. I don't disrespect nobody. I don't try nothing. I don't go over the limits. I literally grew up around guys. I'm from the hood of Philadelphia, so literally my brother into the drug life, all that, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it was just easier for me to just be comfortable around guys because that's what I grew up with. So then I got into the aspect of always hanging out with girls because of my dance team. Okay. And a lot of guys started joining my dance team, which reroutes me back into my dance story. I went from having 30 students to 87. And then right before I moved to LA, I remember turning 22 and I had 182 students. And it was disgusting because I didn't enjoy my life. I was literally juggling this is the aspect of me going back into the clothes. Mm-hmm. I was doing bottle service clothes for Starlets and popular clubs in Philly, and then
shout out to Starlets. Yeah. Woo, woo.
And people also had in Philly there was a lot of clubs, popular clubs that people did the whole bottle service look. So I was doing sets for a bunch of different clubs, and that's what was making me my money and my residue. And then I started literally getting into shots. I would have a bunch of girls go to clubs with me, and I would have tube shots and have the girls be sexy and pour them. We were making so much. I remember one time coming home, I was I felt like a stripper. I had bags and bags and bags of 1s and 20s, and I remember sitting in the bed. Yeah, me and my friends, and these were all my friends that I was putting on to work for.
Those are the moments. I remember that the first time you get those bags too, and you're just let's make it rain on me again.
Listen, my family has always been supportive of me. So my sister was downstairs prepping the shots because mind you, she was a licensed bartender. She did her school. She has her license. She had a bar. So she was pouring the shots, making different flavors. We had buttery nipple, pink pussy. We had all types of shit.
So you took that before you went to the club?
Oh, listen, my sister would prep them while I'm upstairs dressing these bitches, throwing their makeup on their face.
Oh, so you would do it. Oh, you so genius with it. Look.
And we're going to the club
because they all
together.
need to get lit before they're trying to go out.
Okay, period.
Everyone needs to it's like a pep talk with the silence.
And on top of that, a lot of these girls wanted to be around because we were doing hostings with they would bring out Cardi B, they would bring out fucking, back then it was who was it? Meek Mill? It was me, but those were the strip clubs. This is the thing, my service was so popping in Philly, after hours go to 7 in the morning.
This is why Starlets made everything popping for people, is because they made that whole industry.
The Startenders.
Yeah, they want to start doing it here.
But that's what I'm saying. But that's what made it and that's why I love Kevin. Kevin is legendary.
Kevin.
I love Kevin. Forever. He's the homie till the day I die. He is amazing.
Brilliant, a genius.
He is
Shout out to Kevin forever.
For sure. But that whole like I said, the whole time of I know exactly what you're talking about. The era of when all that whole the uniform,
just
the whole thing, whatever.
And it was so cute.
But with that, it's it's also setting the vibe with what you doing that already and styling someone. It's you want to set the environment, you want to set the tone, just like the spas here. They know how to do it. At the blow dry bar, you get champagne, you get all this stuff, so you feel good. You either get a better tip or not.
So
the same thing with you is your cousins over there pre-making those shots. You know what it is.
My
You're gonna
sister's in the kitchen whipping it. My mom's downstairs.
Get it.
My mom, mind you, my mom is my teacher. Shout out to my mom. She's
ooh,
amazing.
mama. Get it.
My baby. She literally makes everything for me. Like I literally design and she makes it in like 2 fucking seconds. It's crazy.
That's amazing that you have that duo.
So
you know
my
what I mean?
family has always been supportive of me. They always have been like directly right by my side through this whole thing. And it's like crazy because I remember like making so much money doing this, like having the whole little system that in Philly after parties go like 7 in the morning. The after party, the clubs was like, asking me to come and sell shots. So I remember coming home and like literally thousands of dollars I was making in the night, and just having to pay the girls like a solid money in their tips. Like I had them for like I remember starting them off at like 100, and then I was able to pay them like.
How good did that make you feel?
Bitch, to see my fucking bank account go to. I literally remember one time having. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna say it.
Get it?
Back then, $30,000. That's how much I seen at once from this. Like just once, and just like not even a month, and I was just like, what the fuck? I was young. So it was like,
and then once you touch it once, it's like, oh, you keep going back for more. You drink the Kool-Aid. You're gonna keep going back for more.
I always paid that card to my family, and I should not say this on air right now.
Get it?
And to my friends, but like I don't have no money. But literally, that's what got me to LA. Like literally, like, and I remember when I first got to, I came here 4 years ago in 2016. Right, that's like 4 years ago. 3, 4.
Yeah. Almost.
Shit,
Yeah, basically.
I'm a little high right now.
You didn't pass me the blunt, so I can't even attest to your highness.
And then the sis got me drinking Tito's. Right. But so I remember when I came here, I had all that money and I got my first apartment. I put like a lot of months down and I didn't know fucking nobody. I literally stopped the dancing. I closed my studio down.
So you went from dancing to coming to LA.
To pursue my life.
Okay, but at that time, did you know what your life meant coming to LA? Did you know that it wanted to be styling when you came to LA?
I didn't want to do styling. I wanted to design and I was a designer. I do styling. A lot of people don't know like styling is my like second thing that comes with the designer aspect. But I have my name and my title as a designer because that's what I really love to do. Mm-hmm. Like I love like designing and doing the whole creative and the whole editorial thing of it. And then I feel like the styling has to come with that because you're styling your pieces on them.
Where can we find your designs?
On my Instagram.
Let us know. Private Talk wants to know what your Instagram is.
Manuel Antonio _. That's MANUELANTONIO.
Ooh.
Underscore. Period.
Get it.
So I basically started doing like when I first came here, I worked at this is crazy. I just settled for a job. And I became a makeup artist at Kiko Milano on Hollywood Boulevard.
Had you ever done makeup before?
Yeah, I told you I used to do makeup back then. So it was like,
okay.
I used to do like, I had my little Mac run with Mac and stuff, like all types of stuff like that. And I remember when I was coming out, I don't like doing makeup. I don't like doing that shit at all. Like, to be honest.
Even though he will snatch your face all the way together.
It's funny how that works. It's because it's just artistry in itself. But you know what you're good at if it's like the designing, the clothing, whatever. But it's like the whole like. You're a very rare specimen over there. I like it, Manny. I like it, Manny. I can feel it.
They called me the jack of all trades because I knew how to do everything.
Yes.
So
no pun intended. Oh.
But yeah, so I became a makeup artist and I hated it. I really hated it so bad.
Tell us how you really feel at Private Talk.
It was a fucking annoying, and
like,
it was Hollywood.
Like a long process.
How long did you? Yeah, like why did you?
I'm so quick. If you go back on my page, I kept all my pictures up, but it was just like I don't like to be like. Arched over nobody, doing no makeup. And you have,
is it because you feel like your artistry was being stifled because whoever you were working for was giving you like what you were supposed to do, or why?
It was just the money that I needed when I came here, to be in all honesty. I wanted to keep the money. I went from having...
Okay, so you moved past that. You hated that. Mm-hmm. How did you get your start in LA?
I moved back to Philly because I was the fuck over it.
Okay.
I couldn't take it no more.
How long?
I couldn't take... listen, I was here for 8 months and I said, lease broken. Let's get the fuck out of here. Let's go back. When I went back, it was completely different. It was like, shit, like people had my job and girls would fuck with girls that I didn't think was going to fuck with each other.
So it was a whole different dynamic.
It was depressing. It was like...
So he couldn't even get his job back. So it's like, oh shit.
Listen,
what you do now, Manny? What you do now, Manny? Tell us.
Sister, I remember Anna calls me.
Imagine this.
Route back to this fucking bitch, okay? Because
crazy.
She
Angel
calls
energy
me,
or whatever.
I love it.
And she's like, let's design like a stripper line. Like, let's do something like that. Like, let's like take it to the next level. I want you to bring samples. I used to, she tells me her story and she's like, she motivates the shit out of me. She cash asks me some money to go get fabric. The next day I'm buying fabric. I'm getting these designs done. We're talking back and forth. Bitch, I come right back to LA. Boom, blah, blah, skip. You know, like
Shit
it was
just
like
takes off.
yeah,
It goes crazy.
Shit takes off, like literally.
Like he's doing like.
So do you attest to having her and like her like either shouting you out, whatever, to like your boost in career in LA started from?
She's been doing this with me. I visited back and forth. I had like jobs here. Like I worked with this one store. I don't want to mention the store, but I worked with this one store that I actually built a freaking empire for, like for 2 years straight on a popular street. And
But that's how they do. They steal your designs and they make the money for you.
I wasn't even stealing my designs. They stole my like everything.
Everything.
Like, it was.
And she was racist.
Yeah, very racist. Let's put the boo on that.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know who you are.
So we had to, you know, private talk have to be honest, and I love that I just said that on air, because at the end of the day, like certain people like that, like from your past, like, you know, you as a solo artist coming here, I know a lot of people can't relate to certain things I do, and I can't relate to certain things you do.
Of course.
But we all have like this path where we just trying to make it.
It's
so
relatable.
There's always something relatable to each person's household. Like it doesn't have to be Instagram. It doesn't have to be styling or designing.
But that's also why, like in our truth, and you know, in every as much as accomplishment I've done, there's been downfalls that's made me stronger to continue to what my success is today. Is because there's not every time that I've made a right choice, and sometimes when you trust in things, especially in the beginning, because you want to believe in yourself and you trust that people would believe in yourself too. And sometimes it unfortunately doesn't always work out that way. So you get burnt. It's trial and tribulations. You know what I mean? You never know. You know, but that's, you know, the glory of things is what shows. You know, for me, character is like as much as what had happened is how you deal with it and you get back up and you go 10 times harder. And, you know, you tell them, you know what, that may have happened and I may have fell down, but you know what, I still can get up and there's so much more to me than you guys have ever seen. And that I'm sure to you is why you now have your own styling thing and you know, you on your Instagram is where we can buy your styles. Yeah,
I design and style. I work with a lot of, now it's just crazy. My life is taking off. I've did the store for 2 years. I have a lot of celebrity clientele. And
so you're booked and busy.
Booked and busy. I'm blessed. I have a blessed. For sure.
I like that. The 3 B's. Yes. Booked, busy, and blessed.
And it's like
that's on my vision board, by the way.
I love that.
I'm a very open and friendly and like loving person. So I feel like I'm a firm believer of like scratching my back, I'll scratch yours. And I also love building bonds before I work with people. I'm literally cool with like everybody's favorite rappers. I don't want to say that, but like a lot of people really fuck with me. So I just love the fact that I can build bonds and have friendships with girls and guys and everybody respect me for me, first of all, being who I am now today. Because back then, like I said, I was bullied. So now, even being in this like limelight and having like the power to actually have the attention and amount of respect that I do. You know what I'm saying? So like yesterday I went out. It was crazy. Because like I said, I'm now getting booked for hostings.
Like he brings out the girls. He's bringing the vibes that
that's
people
awesome.
want.
I get flown
You know
on
what I mean?
trips. Like it's just a lot of stuff that I never thought I could do. So
you get flued out?
No, flued all the way out.
Oh, okay.
He just brings energy. I'm telling you,
It's
you
just
have to
energy
come
that
out
a
with
lot
this
of
one. Are you gonna be
people
like,
can't
oh,
even-
this is what they was talking
I would
about?
love to.
And I know you. I know
Just
you
give
can
me
have
that
a good time.
invite. Just give me that
So I'm having a
invite.
fashion show and everything soon, and I would love for you to come. I'll give you like, a
Okay, for
guest
sure.
invite. You can
I would
bring
love
people.
to.
So dope.
But yeah, so like I have a very good run here. Yesterday I went out and it was weird. Like I literally went out and this never happened to me in LA like this. Like it was back to back to back, and Kayla and all my friends seen it. Girls was like, "Oh my God, you're Manuel Antonio," kept coming up to me and stuff, and it was just so strange. It was really weird.
Because
So it's finally starting to set in.
It's really
And not that it
starting.
hasn't already happened, because again, like putting in work, like I'm sure again you've put in the work for years, myself included. I remember putting in the work, and like there's like probably the 3rd or 4th year, and then it's like everywhere you went, it was like you don't know how to take it. Right, you want it because you don't want to seem ungrateful, because it's like it's a great, it's gratitude in itself, but it's like, man, that's how you know. For me, it's like you made it. You know what I mean? How did that feel for you?
It was weird because my friends were like, "Oh, look at you!" Like they were just spicing it, and it just kept happening.
Because your friends just know you as Manny.
Literally back to back to back. But like
That's
everybody,
That's
like,
amazing.
my friend was like, "No, you deserve it. Like this is like."
You put in that work, boo. You deserve all of that.
It's kind of cool because you kind of know like what you do is behind a lot of big people that's already so successful right now. Like there's a lot of people like Anna and other people like my friend Quay who has like a restaurant and he's like freaking genius. I've been on his sets for over a year.
Who are your biggest people or clients that you work with?
Right now will have to be Quay, and I work with Isabel Bedoya, who's actually a social. She's a makeup influencer and social media influencer.
Yeah, she does YouTube.
She works with YouTube and all types of stuff like that. So she's She has like her product in Macy's right now. Then I also work with a lot of like influencers and artists, and like I'm in the works right now with doing something with Justin Combs. So it's something cool coming up that we're going to be doing with a lot of influencers and stuff like that. So there's like a lot of things that I got in the works, a lot of people that I work with, and people that reach out to me and want to work with me right now while I'm in this stage of my life. So it's kind of fun and exciting because it's crazy. I have so much people. Like if you go on my bio, I've worked with so much people. It's just like I can't even keep up with some of the names.
So it's safe to say your second time around in LA made sense.
Was way better. Third?
Because I went home twice.
Oh, so your third time.
Third time's a charm. LA is hard. I mean, LA is expensive.
Girl.
And then the energy
easy.
sometimes be like, oh my,
and that's why I'm very serious about every job that I have. Like I like try to take it like very, very serious because I am an artist who go from job.
Because that's what your brand is. Is like whoever you style or whatever design you're doing is that speaks for you. So it's like you're putting yourself out there even more. You know what I mean? Like even if someone, it's not on your page per se, it's on if it's yours or some other celebrity out there. It's, it speaks homage to you, and that's how you get booked.
And what's so cool about Manny is that like he will go out, he'll have a hosting, he'll be out till like literally like 5 a.m. I'm like watching his stories. He'll be by at 9 a.m. at his next set, like ready to work. Like he's not like, oh, I'm in bed sick. Like he's ready to work always. Like you can always count on this.
And I'm sure that's exactly why the third time around you got to come back, because it's like a lot of people don't do that because then like everyone's an excuse, especially in LA. Like it's a lot. It's hard to have reliable people. It's hard to have people like show up on time. It's hard because traffic and this, that. Everyone can have excuses for whatever it is. But you know what I mean? Like to do that and like get paid for whatever and then come in doing a paid gig and then coming the next day and doing, again, still a job. But some people would be like, oh, well, they can work on, around my schedule and be really lax about it. So it's like, you gotta stay professional because that's what keeps us current. That's what keeps us wanting to work with you because at the end of the day, time is money. And everyone has, deadlines, schedules, this, that, or the other. And, everybody works differently, but that's what attests us from the winners and the losers. And we only win here at Private Talk.
With all this right now, I respect people like you for giving us the opportunity to be on your platform and get your audience and people like that to get to understand.
Get to know
that there's a lot of other artists. Like I've always been the person where it's like, I could say little catty things that routes me back to my cattiness, but I'm not very judgmental. I very am like the type of person where I love to give everybody the benefit of the doubt because there's a lot of different people.
As we should, because at the end of the day, we don't know what we're going through. We don't know what happened that morning, that day, that week, that year, that whatever. And everybody's going through their own stuff, and there's too many other bigger world problems out there for us to be shitting at each other for no reason.
Yeah. Exactly. It's like, just as long as we're not crossed and we can just respect each other, then I feel like everybody should get to know each other. It should be no problem. We should always everybody should be cordial. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're in Los Angeles. Like, there's a lot of people that come from all over the world to come here and to pursue the same shit.
We're a melting pot for sure.
It's definitely like a lot of, it's like really, at times there's a lot of culture, but at the same time, I feel like there's no culture at times because there's just so many different fucking things going on here. So I feel like when you're here, it's not even like people always say, oh, so fake and this, that, that. I feel like, no, you have to be very vocal. You have to be very networky. You have to stay on your toes. You have to have your own back because I feel like if you don't have your own back, then that's when the fake shit starts.
But that's why I feel like in LA and New York as well, it's like only the strong will survive. You know what I mean? Because it's a dog-eat world, and and it's fortunate as I'm an empath, and I've learned that more. I've learned more about that, like the last couple years of my life. But like me embracing it more so and just being in my truth and really understanding what that is like it just happened.
I literally just had the empath conversation. It's crazy that she just brought that up.
Hey, energies come out.
Literally, this is why. We went to this trip recently. We went to this trip in Mexico, and this is me and Anna got way closer. Just imagine going to Mexico and just, going there to be with influencers and stuff like that. We worked with little girls that we really got to be inspired by. Yeah. Because they got to inspire too. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Pull on the heartstrings a little bit more. So you give a little bit more because you're in a vulnerable situation and it's like not like as like a work situation. It's work, but it's not working.
Our bougie asses had a 2-hour car ride from the airport, Cancun, all the way to Tulum. We found a black car. We got the black car. We got in there. We got really drunk with our Tito's.
Right, and we had a whole bottle of Tito's.
And we had a fucking impact.
Shout out to Tito's.
We had an impact conversation. Yes, Tito's.
So we had that situation.
We had an
broke it
impact
down to me 'cause I didn't know what that was.
It was fucking amazing. And shout out to my friend Nelly. She's an artist. She's a tattoo artist. Nelly's a tattoo artist, and she came across me one time, and she like really read me. She made me cry. She made me emotional. But she told me about the whole empath thing, and she opened my eyes to that whole life. And I always come across people who literally see it, and then I get it. Then I feel it and I mean it. And you know, like, I feel like we all have like our own lanes, but I feel like empaths always come across each other. So
always.
That's
Ooh, I got goosebumps.
I agree with that. And that's why, like, I feel like with me is like, you know, doing this show and this podcast with Private Talk, whatever, is like letting people know like the softer side, I guess, of me, and also that I have a voice other than just being, you know, as, you know, bluntly, like openly asexual. You know, obviously I've done porn and, you know, and been in the industry, but even for myself, you know, to be in the industry as long as I've been, it's like, I didn't do it for not a reason, you know, and for me is like, again, it was a beautiful experience for me and I really loved and enjoyed every moment of it. But it's just like, I know that there was more out there for me. And that's why for me, I feel like this journey of speaking my truth and getting, you know, what my meaning and what my feelings of this, and having people like yourselves coming on the couch and just, again, me not knowing very much about you, but still knowing you very much too. Yeah. But on a different side is like, I wanted to know the private side and letting you feel comfortable and having this, you know, experience that you can feel comfortable with me as well. So thank you. I appreciate both of you guys for being here.
At that. I'm like, I feel like I've been talking to my friend. You said we was going to become friends. So
you know,
hey.
I told you.
Very comfortable.
Firm believer.
Thank you.
All right, guys, keep listening to Private Talk with Alexis, Texas. We're going to take a little break and I'm going to get back and we're going to do my favorite part of the segment, which is Truth with Texas. We're going to play a game with these two and I know they're going to have a lot of fun. So, all right, guys, we're back with the Private Talk podcast with Alexis, Texas. And we've got Anna Montana and Manny. That's right, guys. Give it up, give it up, give it up. So like I told you, this is my favorite part of the show. It's called Truth with Texas. So we're going to shuffle these cards here, and you're going to pick a card, and we're going to... We're gonna get down and dirty for it, you know, because it couldn't be Miss Texas without a little bit of naughty questions. It's not gonna be anything too bad. Don't worry.
Mandy, you go first.
Are you ready? You both have to answer the question.
Ladies go first. I was told.
Oh, you're so respectful, Manny. Right. Private Talk loves respectful men. What ace is that?
Ace of Hearts.
The Ace of Hearts. That's great. It's a romantic question. Are you ready out there? Private Talk, I hope you guys are ready for this game. Make sure you're subscribing and liking to this podcast. Anna, your romantic question. Mm-hmm. Do you enjoy role-playing in the bedroom?
I do. I love a good role play. I like to spice it up. I love a good role play.
So what's your favorite role play situation?
I always like to act like I'm a new girl. Like, I don't know who you are. And wait, you have a girlfriend? Like,
but do you only do that in the bedroom, or do you start like at like a hotel where you like wear a different outfit and you're like your boyfriend or whoever partner, I guess boyfriend. You said 3 years, or boyfriend would come up to the bar and be like, "Hey, what's your name?" Like that, or just in the bedroom where you act like complete? Do you dress up? Like, tell us.
I'm so glad I got this question.
No, it doesn't. Maybe we should starting it from there. But no, for as of right now, we only start in the bedroom, and I'm just like acting like I like to do like the whole little groupie thing because obviously like that's in his world. So I'm like.
You're like, oh my God, I love that song so much. It made my pussy so wet.
You have a girlfriend? Like, she doesn't have to know about it.
Oh.
So that's our little role play or whatever.
I like that. Does that turn you on?
That's kind of sick, but low-key it does. But I want
Why is it sick? It's a fantasy. You got to role play it. That's your man. 3 years. You got to live it out in the bedroom. That's what keeps it spicy and kinky and hot.
Because it's like, that's what's going to probably be around. So, like, let you, like, take it out on me so you don't got to do it over there, right?
Mm-hmm. Got to keep it spicy, girl. Don't worry. We're going to become besties. I'll let you know. I got you.
Okay. Please do.
All right, Manny. You're not getting out of this one. I'm going to give you another romantic question, though. Jesus. What turns you on instantly? Like, right off the bat, what you're like, you know what? Even if you don't know that person, you see them across the bar, the room, the whatever situation, you're like, I'm going to go talk to that man.
Oh, a turn on instantly? Oh my God, this is so embarrassing.
Why is it embarrassing? This is a private, like, intimate conversation. Let it
like a thug guy, like very like hood.
The thuggish, ruggish, bro.
Yes.
I like all the jewelry. I like the jewelry. I like the teeth, all that stuff.
You love that.
That's sexy, Poppy. I like
I would
it.
stare at that all night if it was there.
You're
Yes, that's
scared?
so
Oh,
you.
stare. I thought you would be scared. I'm like, why are you
Oh,
scared?
I'm far from scared.
You stare. You stare at that. But you should go talk to it, too.
Yeah, I do.
He lets it be known. Trust me. He
Oh,
be
so you've been out,
I
you
like
know.
that.
Very dominant.
No, I tell all the bitches around me, I like that, so stay away.
Right. That's
But
me. Okay.
I won't disrespect him. I'll just make my way over
So you
there
pee on it and you're
slowly
like,
but surely.
hey, hands off.
Yes, bitches.
Fuck that territory.
Because I'm the king of calling Ubers for bitches home.
Oh.
Well, at least you're nice enough to call him home, you know.
You guys gotta go. Sorry.
If you're like a cool person, I'll get you a black. But if you're like cool,
How many
I'll
Uber
get you a
pools have you
regular.
done? How many Uber pools
I was
have you
about to
done,
say
Manny?
Uber pools come next. You can be a headed girl Uber pool. I hope they take the long way home.
Thank God I have my own accounts, Uber, Lyft,
Right.
and all that shit.
Damn. Shit.
I'm just kidding. I'm not that bad, but I do it sometimes. It's better
You
to get-
thug too. Look at you.
It's
You
better-
on the couch looking
it's
for a
better to
thug.
get
You
people
thug all
Uber.
day, Manny. What's up? What's
It's better to get people Uber than for them to drive, right?
This is true. That's the softer side of Manny. I like that. I like that.
I'm a gentle giant, I promise.
Yeah, I've had people like steal my account and be like, yeah, I'm going home. I'm like, oh yeah, on my Uber. Yeah, like I didn't know that just happened. Yeah, loser.
Yeah, because it shows
That's
up.
the
on my
You know you all have that one friend.
Oh, bitch, listen. Oh
Let
my
us
God.
know.
I was out the other day and somebody took my Cash App. My phone was open and they Cash Apped themselves $150.
No, stop.
Yeah.
Hey, you're a friend?
No, it was just a regular person.
Who do you
Literally
give your
next to
phone
me.
out to in the
I
regular?
was at somebody's house and I looked and I'm like, what the fuck?
No, but how about my friend was telling me that one time she went to this person's house with one of her friends. She didn't even really know the person like that. Tell me why. She said while she was sleeping, her friend took her thumb, put it in there, and called herself a black car all the way home. Like it was an hour drive because she was in Calabasas and left her.
Oh hell no! Like, how do you not know that they're gonna that's gonna show up in receipts?
But why would you do that? That's
Because
I
people
wouldn't
are
have
just
disputed that
dirty.
shit. I
They're,
disputed that
they're
shit.
dirty. I've had somebody go in my Instagram and take my phone while I was asleep or I don't know where I was and DM people from my account being like, hey, you should follow this person. Da, da, da. So the next day they called
the
me.
next person.
The next day they texted me and were like, hey, did your phone get hacked? Because why is this person telling me? Because that's not my style at all. And I was
so they
like,
was trying to
hey,
get their
so I
followers
confronted the
up.
person and they're like, I would never do that. I'm like,
So then who? Were you just drunk? Like just like you should follow this
Exactly.
one. Like come on.
Exactly.
People are so weird.
I ain't scared of you motherfuckers.
That's
No,
why
bitch, I
I
disputed
That's
it.
why I confronted him.
Disputed that shit. And I'll put my paws on you if you do it again.
Oh, you better stop.
Money sign, whoever.
You heard it. All right, let's get on. Let's go with this question. Truth with Texas. Let's go. Let's get it. We guess that was a light version. Here we go. Who's picking?
Spicy.
What ace do you have?
I have ace of, this is spades or clubs.
That's a club.
Just kidding.
Club. Oh, you said it wrong.
At least somebody.
Okay, we are a little airheaded sometimes together when we're
It's
drinking.
okay.
Drinking, don't judge us.
Listen, I don't play games.
King
guys.
Kong ain't got shit on me.
I don't play games by the way. I never play goldfish under that.
Goldfish. I'm dead. Okay.
All that.
Ace of clubs. And what about it?
The clubs is the kinky question. Are you
I'm
ready to
good
get
at that,
kinky with
though.
the private talk podcast?
I'm into it.
Who's going first?
I'll go.
All right. What's the dirtiest thought that you've had about a stranger?
Oh my God. Just recently had a thought about a shit.
Oh, this is why my empath like at us knew, and I'm gonna pull this shit out of you. Tell us,
Okay,
Manny.
so I
Tell
literally
us.
was out to eat. I was literally out to eat a couple
What kind of
days ago.
eating?
I was eating. I was actually eating at one of our favorite spots, Tequila on Hollywood.
Tequila's our
And
favorite.
it was a little restaurant. And I was at the bar and there was somebody sitting like on the corner curve from me, like in this area. And I kind of just wanted to like literally go over there. I was so drunk and tell them to go in the bathroom. Like I literally felt like I wanted to do that. I was literally this close.
Go in the bathroom and do what, Manny? Tell private talk about it.
I don't know. A lot can go on in the bathroom.
Bend it over, bust it open.
Who knows?
Ooh, all the
Drop to
things.
my knees, you know.
So why didn't you? What stopped you?
What stopped me is I didn't know that motherfucker was gonna punch me in my face, and I would have went over there and tried it. I was trying to fill him out a little bit. I mean, one or two more
Remember
drinks.
what type of dudes he like?
One or two more drinks, and I even bought him a shot. I was being that nigga, okay? And he was like taking a
Oh,
shot. I was like,
you were a little thirsty
What?
over there. You were a little thirsty.
Shot.
I'm not a little thirsty, but I like a little. I'm a little. I still got the guy in me.
You quenched it a little. It's all right. You should admit it.
So I should have been a little bit, but the shot. But let me tell you something. Now it was a Sunday, so everything's half off. So that little $2 shot was cute for him.
Aw,
I like that.
sweet.
But yeah, so it didn't happen though.
It didn't happen though.
No, it was just a very
next
crazy
time.
thought.
Hey, if we speak into existence, maybe it will happen next time.
But some crazy shit happened. It's way worse than that. So
Are you ready for your kinky question, Anna?
Yes.
All right. What area do you like to be touched the most?
Just touched? Or, yeah.
Touched, caressed. Like, what really gets you in the mood to, like, you know that's definitely immediately getting you wet. You're going to, like, lay it down.
My nipples get it popping always. Like, and once you get to this situation,
Just
right
touching,
here,
sucking, what?
sucking. I need the sucking situation going on. My pussy gets wet. Like, I'm like, let's do it. I'm ready.
Ooh.
It just feels so good, does it not?
I'm not opposed to it. I like all the sensations.
Yes,
I'm the wrong person to ask. I like a lot of things.
Yeah, but I just like a lot of like foreplay. Like people forgot how to do that because you're like, let's just
I agree
get
with
straight
that.
to it. I'm like, no, you need to slow it down, and this is what we need to do. Like I need all of that.
So when's the last time you got finger banged?
Last week.
I like that. Keeping it old school.
Right.
I like that. Keep it fresh.
I'm telling you, you got to. I'm telling you. After
Wait,
3
but
years,
what
you
about I
gotta
want to
keep it
hear
going.
yours?
Right.
This is about private talk. We'll get to me later. These questions are for you guys. But if you want to ask me a question, I'll get to that. You can ask me a question. All right, who's next?
Let's try this one. Ace of Spades. I got this one right.
Ace of Spades. That's my favorite one because it's just like my booty and it's really naughty. So it's the naughty question. Are you ready for it?
Ready.
How often do you touch yourself and masturbate on the weekly?
Too often. That's one of my favorite
You
things
just like
to do.
rolls your eyes in the back of your head.
Right,
So I
I'm
know
just
this is going to be
thinking
a
of it.
truthful answer. Like,
Honestly, like Skate gets mad sometimes, like, but I'm like, don't, please, you just have to understand. It's just, I just love it so
You
much.
just need it.
Yeah, just
You need
sometimes I
me time.
Yes, you know what I mean? And it just like gets me going. I got this little toy called the Womanizer, and that shit gets me going.
Anna Montana, tell Private Talk, how many times do you make yourself come a month? I mean, not a month.
I was like,
a week,
hold
a
on,
week,
I
a
gotta
week,
count
weekly.
that shit. Hold on.
That's, yeah, let's go back to a week.
A week? I do like 4 times a week.
4 times a week?
Yeah. Sometimes, like, if he's not there, I'm like, okay, I'm in the shower. I'm like, what could I do? Like, I already took a shower. Okay, I guess I'll just do this.
So you always use a toy?
Yes. I love my toy.
Yeah.
That's my favorite thing. Well, besides Skate, it's my favorite thing. He's my first. That's my second.
Have you ever used a toy with him?
Yeah, of course.
Does he like it or does he feel intimidated?
He's such a manly man. Like, he's like, we don't need that. I'm like, I know we don't need it, but like, if you really want this shit to go crazy, like, we should use this.
We got to
You know what I mean?
enhance things sometimes.
Yeah.
It just makes it better.
It does. Like, if you feel amazing.
And
this
not
is
that it
great.
doesn't make it not better without it. It's
Yeah.
just better in a different way.
Exactly. Wait, I don't use it every single time, but like I do, and sometimes I could tell he doesn't like it, so I'm like, all right.
So 3 times a week.
3-4 times a week.
That's way less than me.
Really? Damn. I'm like,
All right, Manny. How many times do you masturbate a week?
Oh my God, this is crazy.
Oh my God, Becky, tell me it all.
Probably a lot because I like to have FaceTimes with people.
You like to FaceTime and masturbate.
okay, there you go.
And you're not charging for this, Manny? There's a whole other fucking app I can tell you about. You should be charging for this.
You're like, wait, hold on. Wait, what's tea? What's tea?
What's tea, sweetie?
So how many times a week? Let Private Talk know, Manny.
Probably about a good, like...
Be honest. Be honest.
Besides the FaceTime, just by yourself.
15, 20.
15, 20 times a week.
Damn.
Yeah, Bible. More than that sometimes.
You just said
sure,
Bible.
but that's
But you know what, though? For myself included, and I'll just spill my tea, I would probably say 20 to 25. Because I like to come like 3 or 4 times at a
I'm over
time.
here like 4 or 5.
I like to come 3 or 4 times at a time if I'm going to fuck myself. I don't want to come just once.
One
It's
time,
like
yeah.
Pringles. It's like once you pop, you just
You
can't
gotta-
stop. I'm like, no, but there's no one else here. I don't have to. No. But I recently got a weighted blanket that keeps me warm at night.
I'm dead. I cannot. That's hilarious.
All right, let's get to the last question from Truth with Texas. Pull it, grab it.
Ace of Spade.
That's
How did-
club. I thought that was a. Wait, is that Spade again?
You just did club.
Did you?
Oh, just.
Oh, look, you lied to me. You don't.
Wait, I lied about mine? Okay, I'm dead.
You told me a spade was a diamond.
Anna.
I've been drinking, guys. Don't judge me, okay? Sorry.
We had another blonde moment, sister. You can't be doing this on air.
Oh, I love it. All right, so
Sorry.
we're going to go back to the diamond question that we thought was going to happen for this.
Do not drink.
Listen, okay, I play roulette. I play roulette, so I don't have to do all that extra stuff. So I don't know if that's
I ain't even play goldfish, but
All right, diamonds. We're going to go to diamonds because I thought that one was the spade. So diamonds is a spicy one.
I cheated.
So, are you loud during sex?
Yes, I am.
How loud can you tell us right now at private talk? Can you give a little example?
Oh,
Like Harry Met Sally?
oh my God. Well, I mean, honestly, like I watch a lot of porn, so I'm already know like I have to learn from y'all because I'm like, this is what these men are expecting, so I really have to like take it there, okay? So I do a little bit of, oh my no.
Yes. Give me more, Anna. Yes.
Go, listen,
That was
okay?
sexy, bitch.
Y'all
I
keep turning
like
up, so I'm like, I
that.
gotta keep up. Like, God damn.
You said you watched my movies earlier. I really like that.
Girl,
I might masturbate to that later.
Please do. Please do.
I may.
Text me after that, okay?
Ooh. All right, Manny, are you ready for your diamond question?
yes, tell it, sis.
Have you ever skinny dipped?
Yes, a lot of times.
Tell me your craziest skinny dipping story.
Okay, had to be when I was younger, and it was with a boy. In the backyard of my Philadelphia house, we had a big pool that you fill up. You know the ones from Walmart that has the white pools, those real big ones.
Above ground pools.
We had the floats. It was like about 3 o'clock in the morning.
Ooh, that pool be popping.
Yes, I remember it was like one of my brother's friends.
King Kong ain't got shit on me.
Motherfuckers.
No, bitch. But it was like
Those were lit though.
It was like in the backyard, and it was like a skinny dip situation back there. There was
All right, break it down to us, that skinny dip situation. What happened? What was the kinkiest moment of it?
probably when it was done when we were nutting in the pool.
You just let it float
all
on
my
by.
friends got in the pool.
You just let it
All
float
my
on
friends
by.
got in the pool the next day.
didn't know. Oh,
This
man.
is, it's true
Come
talk.
on. Damn. They're going to be like, really? I
You
remember
just
that day.
nutted in the pool. You better watch out when you're a man. He nuts in the pool. You hear that?
15
Private
years
talk.
later.
All right, guys. I love it so much. You guys have been amazing guests. Thank you so much for being a part of Private Talk. I appreciate you for being so candid at Truth with Texas. Guys out there, make sure you are subscribing and liking to the Private Talk podcast with Alexis, Texas. Thanks for tuning in, and I cannot wait for next week and let you guys know who the next guest is. I hope you guys are loving this podcast just as much as I am doing it. I can't wait till next time.
Thank you so much. We loved
Appreciate
it.
See you later, guys.